Now to the Hunter Biden plea deal. Yes, after a 5-year-long probe, tomorrow the president's son is scheduled to appear in federal court and plead guilty to just 2 misdemeanor tax charges and a federal gun charge. The hearing taking place in Wilmington, Delaware, and Hunter is expected to also have his lawyers address an agreement between federal prosecutors regarding illegally possessing a firearm while as a drug user.
That's right, and this as more questions continue to mount over his father's involvement in Hunter's business dealings. New reports allege that Hunter put then Vice President Joe Biden on the phone with business associates at least a dozen times, and we're also learning Devin Archer, a former Burisma Holdings board member and business partner of Hunter, a close business partner, was set for a transcribed interview before the House Oversight and Accountability Committee next Monday. Joining us live on Capitol Hill now with these latest developments is congressional correspondent Kilmeny Dukar. Kilmeny, good afternoon.
John and Bianca, good afternoon. Was the U.S. attorney in Delaware prevented from bringing additional charges against Hunter Biden outside of the state? That's just going to be one of the key questions from Republicans who will be seeking to clarify key testimony from 2 IRS whistleblowers last week who claim that the Justice Department interfered in their investigation. On Monday, the Justice Department's Assistant Attorney General sent this letter to Congressman Jim Jordan saying the department believes it is strongly in the public interest for the American people and for Congress to hear directly from U.S. Attorney Weiss on these assertions and questions about his authority at a public hearing, but only provided these dates that Weiss would be available, all of which would be long after Hunter Biden is set to plead guilty on Wednesday to 2 misdemeanor tax charges. Now, separately, as you mentioned, Devin Archer, a longtime friend in business, he's expected to disclose meetings.
I think we're having a little issue with Kilmeny. Do we have her back, guys? All right, well, she was just getting into some of the reports that Devin Archer, of course, a business partner of Hunter Biden, will be testifying on Capitol Hill before the Oversight Committee. That will be a transcribed interview. Expected to disclose really those phone calls that he says took place not only between the business associates, but claims he says that Joe Biden got on the phone several times there, more than a dozen. So obviously Devin Archer, someone who has skipped out on a few opportunities due to the subpoena, is now again expected to go forward on Monday. And an attorney for Devin Archer says his client, in fact, has already testified before a federal grand jury. But again, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says these investigations now, in light of what we heard from the whistleblowers from the FD 1023, are now reaching a level of possible impeachment inquiry.
Yeah. A lot of moving parts on that, but Devin Archer's testimony is going to be key. I mean, that's a big part.
Another Hunter Biden news today. His artwork. A lot of people want to know who was buying it. Well, now Business Insider is reporting some names. They say Hunter's gallery sold his art to a Democratic donor and friend, who then President Biden named to a pretty prestigious commission. Now, it's this woman. Her name is Elizabeth Hirsch Naftali. She was appointed by President Biden to the Commission of the Preservation of America's Heritage Abroad last July. Now, a White House official says her appointment was recommended actually by former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and they pushed back, saying she did not buy that position through Hunter's artwork. The Insider, however, reporting Naftali is a Los Angeles real estate investor and philanthropist. She's given $13,000 to the Biden campaign, $29,000 to the Democratic National Committee this year, and last year she hosted a fundraiser headlined by Vice President Kamala Harris.
And Business Insider reports that one anonymous buyer spent $875,000 on 11 pieces of Biden's art. In total, Hunter Biden has made $1.3 million on his artwork. I mean, he does some nice haiku, but I don't know, is it that great? Whether or not Biden's artwork sales and the political appointment of his friend will help the House Republicans' case against the Bidens remains to be seen, but GOP lawmakers allege the president knew about Hunter's business dealings and believe then Vice President Biden met with Hunter associates from China, Russia, and Ukraine. That's really the key part of this, right? House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said, quote, "This is rising to the level of impeachment inquiry, which provides Congress the strongest power to get the rest of the knowledge and information needed at this hour. The White House is still denying that the president was ever involved in any of his son's business dealings.
And a bit of wordplay as well, as we heard yesterday from KJP. Let's bring in now Sebastian Gorka, host of the Gorka Reality Check, airing right here on Newsmax Sundays at 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. to discuss all these moving parts. Sebastian, great to see you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So things are certainly heating up. We have the IRS whistleblowers. We have Senator Grassley releasing the FBI 1023 form. Next up, Devin Archer with possibly the ties to Joe Biden getting on phone calls. You know, Speaker McCarthy says, yes, now this is the level of impeachment inquiry. And Seb, when you look at, you know, the allegations, many, they say these are credible sources, be it the whistleblower or the confidential human source. Clearly, they say the DOJ and the FBI has done nothing to look into the Biden. So isn't it now up to Congress? Why not act immediately?
I think that's the question that most conservatives have been asking since Kevin became the speaker. We want action. We don't want words. We don't want sessions behind closed doors that are going to be transcribed. We want this done on camera, and we want it done now. We want people like Hunter Biden subpoenaed in front of Congress. So one of the relevant committees just issued a report where they have written a chronology of the 14 years of pay for play from Biden as a senator, then vice president, now as president. So this isn't a question of if, it's a question of when are we going to see some consequences. We know this. Look, the little clip you played of Karine Jean-Pierre, this is it. This is the watershed. Because for 2 years we've heard what? From Biden himself and his team. Oh, I never even discussed my son's business dealings with him. And now it flips, that subtle change that, President Biden was never in business with his son. This is the point at which the dam is starting to crumble.
Yeah, Sebastian, I want to get your thoughts about the artwork and this donor, Hirsch Naftali, who reportedly bought Hunter's artwork. It's unclear how much, for how much. I mean, Business Insider said somebody spent $875,000 on his 11 pieces of art. Like I said, he does nice haiku, but $875,000. Well, she now serves on the Commission to Preserve America's Heritage Abroad. It's an unpaid position. It works on a lot of, Jewish sites in Eastern Europe. Naftali's Jewish. She's lived in Israel with her family. As you know, it's not unusual for presidents to appoint friends, allies to various positions. So why should we care about this? Is it because of the Hunter connection? Because she's the second Biden ally appointed to that commission, or really all of the above?
We should care because Hunter Biden is a crack addict who can't paint to save his life. That's not art, it's crap. I mean, and the fact that we're not allowed to know until now who's buying his art, why is that kept anonymous? That's really weird. Why do we not get to know who could be greasing the wheels of their own businesses or their own futures by buying the president's son's garbage non-art? I mean, some of these paintings, can we just be clear here? Some of these paintings have cost more than Picasso paintings, okay? So
or Peter Max, one of my favorites, but, anyway.
Right. Wake up and smell coffee truck. There's nothing to do with art. This is about access. It always has been. It's access.
Well, Hunter Biden is no starving artist, as we now know from James Comer's investigations and some of the financial documents that have been released. Hey, let's ask you this, though. As we started at the opening of the show, you know this, Sebastian, Trump could be indicted at any moment. This would be the third time. Jack Smith and the prosecutors sent him that target letter, which we've been reporting on, which sort of triggered this. But, now some are noting back from 2010 to March of 2015, Jack Smith was leading the Justice Department's Public Integrity Unit, which investigates politicians and public figures, when Hunter at the same time was being paid by Burisma. Nothing on that. But now, in a presidential cycle, we have Jack Smith and his team very busy.
Yeah, this is how we know, sadly, as the child of those who escaped a communist dictatorship. It's painful for me to say this, but we have arrived here in America. This is now a police state. President Trump isn't a former president. He is the leader of the opposition. Right now, he's between 20 and 40 points before the next closest challenger, the governor of Florida. That means he is the person most likely able to dethrone the current incumbent in the White House. And they're using the Department of Justice, they're using the special counsel, they're using every tool in the political persecution toolbox. We know why. because they don't have the cover of COVID. They don't have Zuckerbucks. They can't do what they did in the 2020 election in the next election. So what are they going to do? They're going to try and imprison the current leader of the opposition, which is fine if you're in Venezuela, if you're in North Korea, but it's not okay here in America.
All right, Sebastian Gorka, who will unlikely be bidding on any Hunter Biden haiku anytime soon. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Gorka Reality Check.
Thank you,
Don't miss
sir.
it, folks. Thanks, Seb. Good to
Thanks.
see you.